There is a miracle approaching you that will change your entire financial story overnight. But Archangel Michael says, it will pass by if your spirit isn't alert right now. My beloved child, a stirring has begun in the unseen realm, and Archangel Michael has stepped forward with a message so urgent, so unlike anything released in recent times, that your spirit must not drift for even a heartbeat. He says a miracle is approaching you, swift, precise, and designed to change your entire financial story overnight. Yet it carries a warning. If your spirit is not alert, this miracle may pass you by like a shadow at dawn. Listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal is not an idea, not motivation, not a feel-good whisper. This is a prophetic interruption, a divine intersection in your timeline, a moment that carries the weight of destiny. Michael shows me something like a bright streak racing toward you, almost too fast for the human heart to grasp. It is wrapped in breakthrough, provision, reversal, and divine acceleration. Something you have been waiting on, praying for, crying about, losing sleep over, is now rushing toward you like a sudden wind. But here is where the moment becomes dangerous. This miracle is time-sensitive. It's not the kind that circles back again and again. It's the kind you must recognize spiritually before it becomes visible physically. Archangel Michael says your financial shift is already activated in the heavens, but if your inner posture, your awareness, your alignment, your readiness is dull or distracted, the blessing will knock on your door and find you not home. He shows me an image, a person sitting inside a silent room while a divine package is being delivered at the doorstep. The miracle is outside. The breakthrough is outside. The financial shift is outside. And heaven is asking, will they open the door? Or will they stay distracted and let it go untouched? This is why Michael is speaking with such urgency. This is why you were drawn to this message at this exact second. This is why the title pulled at your spirit like a magnet. Something is trying to find you. Something meant for you. Something heaven has assigned your name to. But heaven can only deliver what your spirit is awake enough to receive. Michael whispers now, tell them their hesitation has already cost them enough. Tell them this visitation will not wait forever. His tone is not angry, it's protective. Like a warrior shielding you from missing what's meant to transform your life. You see, the financial miracle coming isn't small. It's not a coupon blessing. It's not a slow drip of improvement. This is the kind that changes environments, changes legacies, changes the way you walk, give, think, dream, and live. The kind that makes you look back and say, that was the moment everything turned. And child, this shift is not coming from labor, not from luck, not from chance, not from the systems you've relied on before. Michael says it is coming like divine intervention, an unexpected door, an unforeseen opportunity, a sudden approval, a miraculous release, or a supernatural reversal. Something you couldn't manufacture even if you tried. But here is the divine tension. Miracles require alertness, not stress, not fear. Alertness, a heart that listens, a spirit that watches, an inner posture that says, God, I am ready for what you send. Because the greatest tragedies in the spiritual realm are not missed opportunities, they are missed instructions. Michael says an instruction is coming. It may come as a nudge, a thought, a call, a sign, a prompting, a moment where you feel, I must do this right now. And that instruction will be the doorway to your financial miracle. But if you ignore it, delay it, doubt it, or assume it's nothing, the miracle will keep moving. Not because heaven is cruel, but because miracles require participation. Right now, I feel the atmosphere shifting around you. There is a heaviness lifting, a clarity forming, a quiet spiritual alertness waking up inside you. That's not coincidence. That's not emotion. That is awakening, because you need to be awake to receive what heaven is sending. Michael is placing his sword in the ground as a sign. This is your turning point. But stay with me, because the next revelation he is about to release is even heavier, even deeper, even more precise. You do not want to miss what comes next. Before you scroll, breathe for a moment, because the twist that follows will ignite something in your spirit you didn't know had gone silent. Type "I am awake in spirit" in the comments if this is speaking to you. Blessing code 144 is now unlocking over you. Dearest soul, lean in now, because what Archangel Michael is showing in this moment feels like a curtain being pulled back on a scene that has been hidden from you for far too long. I see him standing at the edge of a path you have been walking, a path you assumed was ordinary, predictable, repetitive, yet he is revealing that this path is about to split into two. One direction carries the weight of old cycles, familiar struggles, and financial limitations that keep looping like a story that refuses to end. But the other path, the one glowing with a strange and unfamiliar brightness, is the road where your overnight shift will unfold. And Michael says this shift is not only possible, it is already in motion, waiting for your awareness to meet it. He tells me your life has hovered in a strange in-between season. You have felt moments of progress, moments where you thought breakthrough was near. But then it felt like something invisible pulled you backward again. This has not been random. Michael reveals that the spirit of delay has been trying to cloud your vision, not by stopping your blessing, but by distracting your spirit from recognizing when your moment arrives. You were not losing your blessing, you were losing your alignment. But heaven has decided that enough is enough. This is why the message you are hearing today is so specific, so urgent, so unshakably timed. Michael's presence grows stronger now, and he speaks with a tone that feels both commanding and tender. He says, "Tell them their financial story was never meant to be defined by the limitations of their past. Their story is about to be rewritten by the hand of heaven itself." When he says this, I see pages turning rapidly, as though your life is being reviewed by the divine with the intention of editing out everything that tried to diminish your hope. The miracle approaching you is not simply money. It is restoration. Restoration of confidence. Restoration of stability. Restoration of opportunities that were stolen, blocked, or delayed. There is a divine pattern forming around you, something like a blueprint, and Michael wants you to understand its significance. This miracle is not random. It is not lucky timing. It is structured, intentional, meticulously aligned with your destiny. But your spirit must be alert, because the blessing is coming through a channel that will require immediate recognition. You might receive a sudden thought that feels too bold, a call that seems unexpected, a conversation that opens an unusual door, or a moment where you feel compelled to take action without hesitation. Heaven is preparing to speak in subtle ways, and subtlety is why alertness matters. Michael shows me that spiritual dullness is your greatest enemy right now, not people, not systems, not circumstances. When your spirit becomes dull, the supernatural becomes invisible. But when your spirit wakes up, even the smallest sign becomes a divine instruction. He says you must be sensitive to the inner nudge, the quickening, the whisper that doesn't make sense logically but resonates deeply in your spirit. What is coming will look natural, but it will carry a supernatural assignment. You have been asking for financial change, but heaven hath been waiting for spiritual readiness. Now the two have finally aligned. Michael warns that many people pray for miracles but never prepare for them. You want arrival without awareness. They want abundance without sensitivity. But you are being chosen for something different, a moment where alertness becomes the key that unlocks everything. I see a vision of 3 doors opening in front of you. The first door is opportunity, the second is timing, and the third is obedience. Your financial miracle is standing behind all 3, ready to rush forward the moment you step through the first. Opportunity may appear small, but it is the seed of the shift. Timing will feel unexpected, but it will be perfect. And obedience will feel risky, but it will carry heaven's approval. Michael says the miracle will not require struggle, but it will require trust. Trust that moves quickly when God speaks. There is something else he wants me to reveal, something deeper and more personal. He says your past financial pain was not a punishment, it was preparation. The lack, the setbacks, the disappointments, the losses, each one trained your spirit to recognize value, not just money. And because you understand value, you will not waste what heaven is sending. You will not misuse it. You will not overlook it. You will not lose it. The miracle approaching you is being delivered to someone who has learned wisdom through uncertainty and strength through hardship. Michael also emphasizes that the next phase of your life will require a new level of clarity. There are voices around you that have drained your focus. There are environments that have clouded your discernment. But heaven is calling you to step into stillness, not isolation, but clarity. In that clarity, your spirit will awaken to the signals heaven is sending. He says, tell them that alertness is not pressure, it is peace. When your spirit is awake, you are not anxious, you are aware. Stay with me now, because what comes next is the revelation that ties everything together. There is a specific sign your spirit will sense before the miracle arrives, and you need to hear it clearly. You do not want to drift away now. Something powerful is about to unfold in the next moment of this message, something that may answer questions you have been carrying for years. Hold steady, because the next unveiling will make everything align in your heart. Type "My spirit is alert" in the comments if this is touching you. Blessing code 228 is now opening over your path. Precious heart, take a deep breath, because the atmosphere around you is shifting again. Archangel Michael is stepping closer, and the intensity of what he is revealing now feels like a seal being broken in the spiritual realm. He says you are approaching a moment that heaven has orchestrated with extraordinary precision, something so specific that when it arrives, you will know instantly that this was not coincidence. This was not luck. This was not human intervention. This was divine alignment. He calls this moment your point of spiritual ignition, the moment when your inner awareness will suddenly heighten, and you will feel as if something invisible has awakened inside you with clarity, direction, urgency, and peace all at once. Michael shows me an image of a lamp, being lit in the middle of a dark room. The room was always stable, always yours, always filled with potential, but without illumination you could not see what was waiting for you. This is how your life has been. Opportunities were present, but not visible. Doors were available, but not recognized. Financial openings were near, but not perceived. Now, however, the lamp is being lit. Your spiritual eyes are opening. Heaven is revealing what was always meant to be yours. But the miracle will require one thing: responsiveness. Heaven does not demand fear or pressure. It asks for awareness and willingness. Michael says there is a sign coming to you before the miracle arrives. This sign will appear in a way that speaks directly to your spirit, even if your mind hesitates. You may feel a sudden push to reach out to someone, submit something, Revisit something you abandoned. Step into a space you were unsure of, or take initiative in an area you thought was closed. The sign will not feel heavy. It will not feel forced. It will feel like a gentle but undeniable pull, as though heaven is whispering, "This is the moment. Move now." And you must respond quickly, because the financial shift coming to you is activated through timing. Not rush timing, but divine timing. Michael is showing me a vision of a bridge forming beneath your feet as you walk, one plank appearing at a time. You cannot see the entire path yet, but the steps will appear exactly when you take them. This is why alertness matters. This is why your spirit must stay awake. If you hesitate too long, if you allow uncertainty or fear to take over, the plank that was meant to be placed beneath you may fall away before you step onto it. Not because heaven removes it, but because the moment of alignment passes. Miracles that shift entire financial stories are built on timing, trust, and obedience working together like threads that form a new tapestry. Michael says the enemy has tried to dull your spirit by overwhelming your emotions. Confusion, exhaustion, discouragement, financial anxiety, and past disappointments were not random feelings. They were strategic attacks meant to make you spiritually sleepy. A sleepy spirit misses signals. A sleepy spirit overlooks divine nudges. A sleepy spirit dismisses opportunities as coincidences. But heaven is reversing it now. Your spiritual alertness is returning. Your senses are sharpening. Your insight is awakening. And once your spirit is fully awake, nothing meant for you will pass you by. Here's also something Michael wants to address directly. He says that you have been conditioned to expect slow progress because that is what life has repeatedly shown you. But heaven is about to break your pattern of slow. This next shift will not take months. It will not take years. It will not take endless effort. Michael says the word suddenly is being written over your financial story. Suddenly the opportunity appears. Suddenly the approval comes. Suddenly the resources flow. Suddenly the connection aligns. Suddenly the closed door swings open as if it was never shut. And because this miracle has been divinely prepared, it will unfold in a way that even you will not be able to explain. Your role is not to make the miracle happen. Your role is to be spiritually alert enough to recognize it when it arrives. That is the only requirement. Michael says heaven is placing something like a spiritual pulse inside you. When your miracle draws near, your spirit will feel stirred. Your thoughts will become unusually clear. Your peace will deepen. Your intuition will heighten. Your awareness will sharpen. These feelings are not random. They are signals that the miracle is approaching. But stay with me. You cannot drift right now. What Michael is preparing to reveal next will uncover the exact spiritual posture you need to adopt so that nothing assigned to your name slips away. This is one of the most important revelations in this entire message. Before you move ahead, pause for a moment and let your spirit settle into what has been spoken. And now, if this message is speaking to your spirit, make sure you like, share, comment, uplift this message, and subscribe so you never miss what heaven is pouring out. Type "I recognize my miracle" in the comments if this resonates with you. Blessing code 552 is now activated over your atmosphere. Before we continue, let me speak directly to those who feel the weight of this message in their soul. There is a sacred mission connected to every word released here, and you are part of that mission. When you support this work, you are not helping a channel. You are helping heaven reach the hearts that need awakening. Every seed you sow becomes a beam of light in someone's darkest hour, and that is why the scriptures say that those who scatter seed generously will see harvest overflowing. Right now, As this message about alertness and financial breakthrough flows into your life, I hear a gentle invitation rising in my spirit. If you feel led, stand with this mission. Stand with the outpouring. Stand with the message that is awakening thousands. You can support through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description. Every act of support becomes a prophetic response, a declaration that you are aligning yourself with the work of heaven. And I speak over every giver. May the God who multiplies seed release a harvest in your life, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Step into this moment now. Beloved one, settle your heart for a moment, because what Archangel Michael is revealing now carries a depth that reaches into the very foundation of your financial story. He is not speaking about surface-level change or temporary relief. He is speaking about a recalibration of your spiritual posture, something that must shift inside you before the outward miracle arrives. And he emphasizes that this posture is not about striving, forcing, or pushing, but about alignment. Alignment is the place where miracles find you without delay. Alignment is the place where breakthrough recognizes your name. Alignment is the place where heaven's timing meets your readiness, and the divine becomes your new normal. Michael begins by showing me an image of a person standing at the threshold of a door with light pouring through the cracks. The door is not locked. It is not blocked. It is not barricaded. It is simply closed because the person has not yet gathered the courage, clarity, and spiritual alertness to turn the handle. This door, he says, represents the miracle approaching you. It is already within reach. It is not far. It is not out of range. It is not being withheld. But miracles require participation from a spiritually awake heart. You must lean into the nudge when it arrives. You must lean into the prompting when it stirs. You must lean into the moment when heaven signals that the door is ready to be opened. He then shows me how your past has conditioned you to expect resistance. You have learned to brace yourself for disappointment because that is what life has repeatedly handed you. You have learned to wait for the other shoe to drop. You have learned to emotionally withdraw before hope gets too loud. But Michael says heaven is breaking this pattern now, because this miracle is not coming through struggle. It is not coming through fear. It is coming through spiritual alertness and readiness. And he says clearly, tell them, this time the door will open easily. The resistance you expect will not greet you. The obstacles that used to stand against you will not appear. The path that felt foggy before will feel defined now. Michael is also revealing that your spiritual senses have been under attack in subtle ways. Doubt, confusion, emotional overload, financial stress, and even sudden fatigue have tried to cloud your alertness. These attacks were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to distract you. Because a distracted spirit misses divine timing. A distracted spirit misreads God's signal. A distracted spirit overlooks the subtle invitation that opens supernatural doors. But heaven is lifting that fog now. The weight you have been carrying is loosening. The heaviness around your thoughts is clearing. The internal noise is quieting. Your spiritual hearing is sharpening again, because you must hear what heaven is about to whisper in the coming days. Michael says the miracle approaching you will require a specific inner shift. You must believe that sudden change is possible for you. Not just for others. Not just in theory. For you. He says that your miracle is not waiting for improved circumstances. It is waiting for improved expectation. Expectation is the magnet. Expectation is the signal. Expectation is the spiritual alertness that tells heaven you are ready to receive what has already been released. I see now an image of a key in your spirit, and Michael says this key represents your ability to recognize divine timing. He tells me that the moment your awareness heightens, heaven accelerates. The moment your spirit says yes, heaven says now. The moment you shift from doubt to readiness, the miracle begins to move toward you without hesitation. And he emphasizes that your financial turnaround does not require 1,000 steps. It will not require endless effort. The shift will happen through one aligned moment, one obedient decision, one spiritually awakened response. Michael also brings attention to something that many overlook. The miracle coming your way is not only financial, it is also directional. It will reveal what your next season looks like, where you should place your energy, what you should invest in, who you should align with, and which opportunities carry divine backing. Heaven is not only sending money, heaven is sending clarity. Because financial breakthrough without direction becomes temporary. But financial breakthrough with divine direction becomes transformation. He says there are 3 layers to this miracle: provision, positioning, and purpose. Provision brings the resources you need. Positioning brings the environment where you flourish. Purpose brings the meaning you have been longing for. All 3 are converging at the same time, which is why this miracle feels heavier, more urgent, and more spiritually loaded than anything you have felt in a long time. This is not just a shift of finances. This is a shift of identity, confidence, and destiny. Michael's voice deepens as he delivers this next part. Tell them their spirit must be attentive because the window for this miracle will not remain open forever. Not in a way meant to scare you, but in a way that emphasizes timing. Timing is the language of miracles. Timing is the rhythm of heaven. Timing is the doorway that opens and then closes when the alignment passes. You are in that window right now. Heaven is leaning in. Breakthrough is hovering near. The miracle is approaching at a pace that defies logic. And before we move forward to the next revelation, I feel prompted to tell you this. Do not underestimate what is waking up inside you. That stirring you feel is confirmation. That awareness rising in you is evidence. That shift in your spirit is heaven saying, "Get ready." What you've been waiting for is drawing near. Stay with me, because the next message Michael is preparing to release carries the blueprint of how you will recognize the exact moment your miracle begins. This is something you do not want to miss. Type "I am ready" for alignment in the comments. Blessing code 903 is now released over you. Chosen soul, steady yourself now, because Archangel Michael is unveiling something that reaches into the core of your destiny. He is showing me a moment that is approaching you like a quiet ripple before a great wave. A moment that will signal the start of your overnight financial shift. This moment is not loud, not chaotic, not overwhelming. It will arrive gently, yet unmistakably. Michael calls it the moment of spiritual quickening, the instant when your inner world will suddenly feel alert in a way you cannot ignore. He says it will be like waking from a deep sleep you did not realize you were in. A sudden stillness. A sudden clarity. A sudden inner knowing that something has changed, even if your surroundings have not caught up yet. Michael shows me a vision of you standing in a room filled with doors. Some of these doors represent opportunities that never opened, some represent seasons that never reached fulfillment, and some represent paths you abandoned because the timing felt off or the clarity never came. But he highlights one particular door glowing with a subtle light, the light of divine timing. This door, he says, is the one your spirit will recognize in the coming days. When your spirit becomes alert, this door will no longer blend in with the others. It will stand out. You will notice it instinctively. You will sense a pull toward it. You will feel drawn to approach it without overthinking, without fear, without hesitation. Michael says the sign you're about to receive will not be external at first. It will be internal. You will feel something shift inside you before the miracle arrives outside you. He says you may feel a sudden wave of peace that does not match your circumstances, or a calm confidence in an area where you once felt uncertain, or a sudden change in how you view your financial future, or even a strange clarity about a decision you have been unsure of. These are not random emotions. They are signals. They are heaven's way of preparing your spirit to meet the blessing that has already been released in your direction. He then reveals something deeply important. Divine instructions often come in moments of quiet awareness. Not in chaos. Not in noise. Not in fear. Heaven speaks clearest when your spirit is steady, and the miracle coming to you will require a moment of recognition. You must recognize the prompting when it arrives. You must recognize the shift when you feel it. You must recognize the divine nudge that pulls you toward action. Michael says this recognition is the moment of unlocking, the moment when the miracle transitions from being near you to becoming yours. I see now an image of a seed buried beneath the soil. On the surface, nothing appears different. Nothing looks change. The environment looks the same. But beneath the soil, movement has already begun. Growth has already started. Energy is shifting. The seed is expanding. Heaven says your life is currently in that exact phase. You may not see the change yet, but the miracle is already swelling beneath the surface. The roots of breakthrough are forming. The spiritual structure of your financial shift is aligning. You are closer to transformation than you realize. Michael also warns that in this stage, your emotions may try to mislead you. You may experience brief waves of doubt or fog, not because the miracle is delayed, but because the enemy wants to dull your spiritual alertness at the final stretch. He does not fear your prayer. He fears your awareness. He fears your readiness. He fears your ability to recognize divine timing. Because once you are alert, nothing he places in your path can block what heaven sends. This is why your spirit must stay awake. This is why you must watch with intention, listen with clarity, and remain sensitive to the shifts inside you. He tells me that your financial story has been overshadowed by cycles that were not your fault. Generational patterns. Doors that were closed prematurely. Opportunities that were taken before they matured. Attacks that drained your confidence. But this miracle is heaven's way of restoring you to what was always meant to be yours. Your story is not being rewritten, it is being restored. And restoration requires awareness. You must be awake enough to claim what belongs to you. Michael now brings my attention to the way divine timing feels. He says you will know you are approaching your moment when your inner dialogue changes. Worries begin to lose their power. Old fears no longer grip you the same way. Ideas begin flowing. Vision begins rising. Hope feels alive again. You begin to think differently, speak differently, expect differently. This is the spiritual quickening. This is the awakening. This is the shift that signals your miracle is closer than the challenges around you. He says heaven is sending you a divine impulse, a supernatural alignment that will guide your next steps with ease. Not struggle. Not confusion. Ease. The miracle approaching you will not come through labor. It will come through recognition. And when the moment arrives, you will not miss it. Your spirit will respond instantly, as though heaven is pulling you forward by invisible threads. But do not step away now. The next message Michael is preparing to release will reveal how to identify the exact moment your spirit awakens, the moment that will tell you the miracle is ours, not months away. Stay with me, because what comes next carries the final key to your overnight financial transformation. Type "My spirit is waking" in the comments if this is stirring you. Blessing code 411 is now released into your atmosphere. Beloved soul, the atmosphere around you is thick with revelation right now, and Archangel Michael is urging me to guide you deeper into what is unfolding. He says that you are approaching a moment of spiritual awakening so distinct, so unmistakable, that once it happens, you will know without question that your financial miracle is closer than ever. This awakening will not feel like a burst of excitement or a rush of adrenaline. It will feel like a deep, resonant shift within you, the kind that settles your spirit and sharpens your inner vision. Michael says this moment will arrive quietly, yet powerfully, like the first whisper of dawn that signals the arrival of daylight long before the sun appears. He says heaven will awaken something in you before it releases something to you, because inner readiness always precedes external breakthrough. He shows me now a vision of a still lake, completely undisturbed. Suddenly, a ripple forms, not from the outside, but from the center of the water itself. This ripple expands outward, touching everything around it. Michael says this ripple represents the shift that is about to begin in your spirit. It will start inside you. It will begin as a subtle but undeniable clarity, and once it starts, every part of your life will feel its movement. You will begin to see things differently, think differently, and sense opportunities before they arrive. This inner shift is the signal you have been waiting for. He says many people pray for miracles, but they overlook the spiritual ripple that always comes first. Do not overlook it. Do not dismiss it. That ripple is the announcement that your miracle is already in transit. Michael emphasizes that your spiritual awakening will come with 3 unmistakable signs. The first is clarity. A clarity that cuts through confusion like a sudden beam of light in a dark room. You will understand things you once struggled with. You will see solutions that were previously hidden. You will feel confident in decisions that once overwhelmed you. This clarity is not self-made. It is heaven-made. It is the evidence that your spirit has become fully alert, and heaven is revealing the step you must take to meet your miracle. The second sign is peace, but not the kind of peace that comes when circumstances improve. This peace will come even in the middle of uncertainty. It will settle your heart like still water. It will quiet the noise around you. It will stabilize you. This peace is the mark of divine timing, the confirmation that the miracle is not just near but imminent. And the third sign is boldness. A boldness that feels foreign to your past self. You will feel compelled to take action, compelled to move, compelled to reach, compelled to step into something that previously intimidated you. This boldness is not human confidence. It is spiritual empowerment. It is Michael clearing the path ahead of you. He says your spirit has been preparing for this awakening for months, even through moments when you felt numb, tired, uninspired, or overwhelmed. Heaven has been clearing away emotional debris, removing spiritual blockages, and softening the ground of your heart. All of this was preparation for the awakening that is now drawing near. You may have felt delayed, but heaven says you were being calibrated. You may have felt stuck, but heaven says you were being positioned. You may have felt overlooked, but heaven says you were being preserved for the exact moment your miracle aligns with your readiness. Michael then reveals something profound. The awakening approaching you will reconnect you with the divine identity the world tried to strip away. He says you have dimmed your own light to survive seasons that demanded too much of your strength. You have lowered your expectations to protect yourself from disappointment. You have silenced your own voice to avoid conflict or pain. But heaven is restoring everything that was muted in you. When your spirit awakens, your confidence will return. Your vision will rise. Your expectation will sharpen. You will no longer approach life from a place of survival. You will approach it from a place of authority. This shift is essential because financial miracles are attracted to spiritually awakened individuals. Breakthrough gravitates toward boldness. Overflow gravitates toward clarity. Open doors gravitate toward those who are spiritually alert enough to walk through them. Michael shows me a path that has been invisible until now, and he says that once your spirit awakens, this path will become clear. This path represents the decision, step, or action that will unlock the financial shift heaven has already prepared. He says you will know exactly what to do. The confusion that once clouded your mind will vanish. You will no longer feel torn between options or uncertain about direction. The awakening will bring divine simplicity, a knowing so strong that it silences every doubt. This is why Michael hath been preparing you so intensely. He wants your spirit ready so that when the moment arrives, you move without hesitation. Because your miracle is tied to your ability to act at the right time. He says the enemy's final attempt will be distraction, not destruction. Distraction is the enemy of alertness. Distraction is the fog that blinds spiritual sight. Distraction keeps you spiritually numb. But Michael declares that the season of distraction is breaking off you. Your spirit is strengthening. Your mind is clearing. Your sensitivity to divine timing is returning. And when the awakening occurs, nothing will stand between you and what heaven has assigned to your name. Say here with me, because what comes next is the moment Michael has been leading toward. The revelation of how the miracle will manifest once your spirit awakens. You do not want to drift away now. The next unfolding carries the shape of your coming miracle, and you will feel the truth of it before you hear it. Type "My Spirit is Awakened" in the comments if this is reaching you. Blessing code 808 is now released into your life. Beloved heart, stay close now, because Archangel Michael is revealing a message that carries the weight of divine manifestation. He says that once your spirit awakens, truly awakens, the miracle that has been approaching you will begin to form in the physical realm with unmistakable clarity. Not slowly, not subtly, not in fragments, but in a way that feels almost surreal, as if heaven itself has stepped into your timeline and begun rearranging everything that once felt immovable. This is the stage where the spiritual and the natural collide, where internal awakening creates external acceleration. Michael calls this the phase of visible alignment, where everything around you begins to confirm what heaven has been whispering to your spirit. He shows me now a vision of the earth shifting beneath your feet. Not in a way that causes fear or instability, but in a way that repositions you into the exact place where your breakthrough can reach you without obstruction. This repositioning is not physical. It is spiritual, mental, and emotional. You will begin to notice a change in your relationships, your environment, your opportunities, and even in your thoughts. Things that once drained you will begin to fall away. Paths that once looked closed will begin to open. Calls that were never returned may suddenly come through. Ideas that felt dormant will spring to life with new vitality. Michael says this is not random change. This is supernatural movement. This is the world shifting to accommodate the miracle that is coming your way. He emphasizes that your awakened spirit becomes a magnet in the realm of destiny. Once your inner world shifts, your outer world must respond. Heaven cannot release a miracle where the heart is asleep, but once you awaken, everything you need begins to flow toward you. This is why Michael has been preparing you so carefully. He knows that when your spirit is alert, you will not overlook the divine opportunity. You will not question the timing. You will not shrink in fear. You will move with confidence, clarity, and precision. Michael reveals now that your financial miracle will not come through ordinary channels. It will arrive through an unexpected pathway, something you did not anticipate, something that bypasses the obstacles that have delayed you for so long. You may receive unexpected communication, a divine connection, a rare opportunity, or an open door that seems too perfectly timed to be anything but supernatural. He says the miracle will carry heaven's fingerprints, meaning it will have a level of ease, flow, and alignment that human effort alone could not produce. This is how you will know it is divine. Heaven does not deliver blessings wrapped in chaos. Heaven delivers blessings wrapped in clarity, peace, and confirmation. He shows me now an image of a golden thread connecting 2 points, your present situation and your coming miracle. This thread represents divine orchestration, the unseen weaving of events, decisions, and timing that bring your destiny together. Michael says the weaving has already begun. Pieces of your future are aligning behind the scenes. People are being positioned. Conversations are being prepared. Resources are being gathered. Approvals are being influenced. Your miracle is not forming randomly. It is forming with intention. And all of it responds to the awakening within you. Michael wants you to understand something deeply important. Miracles follow awakened spirits because awakened spirits can carry the responsibility that comes with abundance. He says your financial shift is not just about money. It is about restoration of freedom, restoration of identity, restoration of options, restoration of dignity, restoration of purpose. Heaven is not simply releasing provision. Heaven is releasing elevation. And elevation requires a heart that is spiritually aware, emotionally grounded, and mentally prepared. This is why your process had been long. Not because heaven was slow, but because what you are stepping into requires a strength that could only be built through endurance. And now that you have endured, heaven is ready to release. I see now a moment approaching where something in your life will suddenly align so perfectly that you will feel a deep, sacred knowing in your spirit. You will say to yourself, "This is it. This is the moment Michael warned me about." And your heart will feel the shift before your eyes see the result. This is the mystery of divine timing. You sense the arrival before the manifestation appears. The spirit recognizes what the natural has not yet caught up to. Michael says when this moment happens, do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Do not question. Move with the authority of someone who knows heaven has gone before them. He also reveals that the moment of manifestation will expose what was never meant to stay with you. People who were attached to old versions of you may fall away. Opportunities that once excited you may no longer align. Doors that felt important may close without explanation. This is not loss. This is purification. Heaven is removing anything that could dilute the blessing or distort your next season. Michael says the miracle coming to you is too important, too sacred, too powerful to be placed in environments where it cannot flourish. So let what needs to fall away fall. Let what needs to shift. The miracle requires space, and heaven is clearing that space for you. But do not step away now. The next revelation Michael is preparing to release carries the blueprint of how to respond when the miracle begins to take shape. This response will determine the speed of your breakthrough. Stay with me closely, because the next message will show you exactly how to move when your financial shift starts to manifest. Type "I see the alignment" in the comments if this is resonating within you. Blessing code 667 is now flowing into your atmosphere. Beloved soul, take a steady breath, because Archangel Michael is revealing something now that carries enormous weight for your next season. He says your miracle is not just approaching, it is beginning to form around you, and how you respond in this stage will determine how quickly it manifests. He calls this phase the hour of spiritual cooperation, the moment when heaven moves and you must move with it. Not ahead of it, not behind it, but in harmony with the divine rhythm. This is where many people unknowingly delay their own breakthrough, because they fail to recognize that miracles require participation. Not heavy work, not endless effort, not frantic striving, but simple, aligned responsiveness to the signals heaven is releasing. And Michael says the signals are already rising around you. He shows me an image of a large door that has been sealed for years, maybe even decades. Suddenly, the seal begins to crack. Light begins to slip through. The hinges begin to loosen. This is where you are right now. The door is not fully open yet, but it is responding. It is shifting. It is yielding. That is why you may have noticed recent changes inside yourself. Subtle thoughts, sudden clarity, new ideas, fresh determination, renewed confidence. These inner changes are not random. They are heaven's way of preparing your spirit for what is about to unfold. But Michael wants you to understand that the next phase requires two things from you: awareness and movement. Awareness to recognize the moment. Movement to step into it. He reveals now that many people miss their miracle not because heaven withholds it, but because they freeze when the moment arrives. They hesitate. They overthink. They doubt their intuition. They wait for confirmation after confirmation. And the window passes. Michael says your window will not be open forever, but it is open right now. That is why your spirit has felt stirred, awakened, sharpened. Heaven is preparing you for a moment when everything aligns with supernatural speed. And when that moment arrives, you must respond immediately. This is not the season for delayed obedience. This is not the season for fear-based hesitation. This is not the season for waiting until you feel completely ready. Heaven works through faith, not comfort. He shows me now that your miracle will present itself in a way that may feel surprisingly simple. It will not appear wrapped in complexity or confusion. It will feel peaceful, aligned, effortless. It may arrive through a conversation, a phone call, an invitation, an unexpected idea, or a sudden opportunity that feels almost too natural to be supernatural. Yet Michael says that is how heaven works when your spirit is awake. Miracles come disguised as moments that require your participation. They come through doors that require your hand to push gently. They come through opportunities that require you to say yes without analyzing every detail. Michael also emphasizes that this financial miracle will be triggered by a single decision, a single step, a single act of obedience. Not by working harder, not by forcing outcomes, not by striving in exhaustion. He says heaven is not asking you to fight for this miracle. Heaven is asking you to align with it. And alignment begins with hearing the whisper. When the whisper comes, follow it. When the nudge comes, move with it. When the idea rises, honor it. When the moment opens, step into it boldly. Your spirit will know when the moment is here, and you will feel it with a clarity you cannot ignore. He then reveals that when your miracle begins to manifest, you will experience a shift in your relationships, your environment, and even your emotional state. Some people may suddenly distance themselves from you, not because something is wrong, but because heaven is removing distractions. Some connections may close unexpectedly because they cannot go where you are going. Some opportunities you once wanted may no longer feel aligned because something greater is forming. Michael says these shifts are not losses. They are divine pruning. And pruning always happens before abundance. He also warns that when the miracle forms, the enemy may try to stir last-minute confusion, a sudden wave of doubt, a fleeting feeling of unworthiness, a momentary fear that you are not ready. Do not accept these lies. They are not your truth. They are not heaven's voice. They are simply the last attempt to distract you before the blessing lands. Michael says the quickest way to silence these lies is through movement. When you move in alignment with heaven, the enemy loses all influence. because action rooted in spiritual alertness is divine authority in motion. But he also reveals something beautiful. When the miracle begins to manifest, you will feel a deep, sacred calm. A calm that washes over your soul. A calm that replaces years of financial worry. A calm that tells your spirit, this is the moment heaven prepared for you. And in that moment, everything will become clear. Why the delays happened. Why certain paths closed. Why certain people left. Why some opportunities were withheld. Heaven was protecting the miracle so it could reach you in perfect form and perfect timing. Stay with me now, because the next revelation Michael is preparing to release carries the specific instruction of how to hold the miracle once it arrives. Manifestation is one thing. Preservation is another. And the instruction that follows will ensure you never lose what heaven is sending. Before you go forward, if this message is touching your spirit, make sure you like, comment, share, uplift this video, and subscribe so you never miss the messages heaven is sending your way. Type I move with heaven in the comments to align your spirit. Lesson code 440 is now being released over your path. And now, beloved soul, let me speak to your heart with a message of support that flows directly from the theme of this revelation. You have just heard that a financial miracle is approaching you, one that will require spiritual alertness and divine readiness. In the same way, heaven is calling us to awaken souls across the world who are asleep to their purpose and unaware of the miracles trying to reach them. When you support this mission, you are not helping a channel. You are sowing into the awakening of millions. Scripture says that those who sow into God's work become carriers of His light. And right now that light is needed more than ever. I feel this deeply. I am inviting you personally, as a messenger of God's movement, to stand with this assignment through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description. This is not a donation. It is a prophetic act of alignment. And to everyone who responds, I speak a blessing over your seed, that it multiplies with the same sudden acceleration heaven is preparing to release over your finances. Step into this moment with boldness and obedience. Beloved one, come closer in your spirit, because Archangel Michael is opening a revelation that reaches into the very heart of your destiny. He says the miracle approaching you is not only about manifestation, but about preservation. Heaven is not releasing a financial shift just for you to touch it briefly. Heaven is releasing a blessing that must become permanent, stable, protected, and aligned with your purpose. Michael calls this the realm of sacred stewardship, the stage where you must hold what heaven gives you without fear, without confusion, and without losing the clarity that brought the miracle to you in the first place. This part of your journey is as important as the breakthrough itself, because many people receive blessings but do not know how to sustain them. You are not meant to be one of them. Michael shows me an image of a person receiving a glowing vessel filled with light. The vessel represents your breakthrough. The light inside represents what heaven has poured into your life. But he emphasizes that the vessel must be held with awareness. Not tight, fearful grasping. Not careless loose handling. But intentional reverence. He says once your miracle begins to manifest, the first thing you must do is guard your atmosphere. Not everyone can carry the energy of your breakthrough. Not everyone will understand the timing of what heaven has released. Some will project their fears onto you. Some will question your blessing. Some will doubt your path. Michael says you must not let any of these voices influence the posture of your spirit. Your miracle requires protection from external noise. He reveals that your financial breakthrough will come with a change in spiritual authority. When heaven elevates you, your spiritual sensitivity increases. You begin to hear clearer. You begin to discern faster. You begin to feel more aligned. But with increased sensitivity comes increased responsibility. He says you must stay connected to the divine flow that brought the miracle into your life. That means listening to the subtle nudges, the quiet instructions, the gentle impulses that heaven will continue to send you even after the breakthrough manifests. Many people receive miracles and assume the process is complete, but for you, the miracle is the beginning of a new alignment, not the end of an old struggle. I see now a vision of a flame, steady and strong. Michael says this flame represents the energy of your breakthrough. If protected, it will grow. If nurtured, it will multiply. If honored, it will evolve into something greater than you originally expected. But if exposed to negativity, doubt, or spiritual dryness, the flame can dim. This is why he says your environment must shift when your miracle arrives. You cannot hold a breakthrough in the same atmosphere that produced your struggles. There must be a separation from old mindsets, a separation from draining connections, a separation from fear-based patterns. Heaven is elevating you, and elevation always requires distance from anything that pulls you downward. Michael moves closer now, and his voice carries a weight of divine seriousness. He says your financial miracle has purpose attached to it. Heaven is not releasing this blessing only to relieve your burdens, but to reposition you for impact, influence, generosity, and spiritual authority. He says this shift will allow you to step into roles, opportunities, and callings that were once impossible due to financial limitations. A miracle is removing chains. It is removing restrictions. It is removing ceilings that were placed on your life, some by circumstances, some by people, and some by your own belief system. This next season will require you to operate from abundance, not survival. He also reveals that once the miracle manifests, a new level of obedience will be required. Not difficult obedience, not heavy burdens, but precise obedience. You will feel heaven prompting you towards certain decision. You will feel pulled towards certain opportunity. You will feel guided away from certain paths. These promptings are not random. They are heaven's way of ensuring your breakthrough continues to unfold correctly. Michael says obedience in this season is not about sacrifice, it is about rhythm. It is about staying in sync with heaven's flow. He wants you to understand something deeply comforting. Your miracle is not fragile. It is not easily lost. It is not easily stolen. Heaven designed it to withstand pressure. But you must still move with intention. The enemy cannot steal what heaven has sealed, but he can distract a person away from the blessing. Distraction is the thief of destiny. Distraction is the saboteur of miracles. Michael says the moment your financial breakthrough appears, the enemy may attempt to stir up emotional noise or unnecessary confusion. You must recognize this for what it is, a final attempt to break your focus. If you remain spiritually alert and emotionally grounded, nothing will stand in the way of the miracle's full manifestation. He shows me now an image of a field ready for harvest. The harvest is abundant, overflowing, ripe. But the field still requires the harvester to step forward. Heaven has prepared the harvest, but you must step into it. Michael says your action after the miracle arrives determines how much of that harvest you gather. Move boldly. Move faithfully. Move consistently. But do not move in fear. The blessing is yours. The shift is yours. The harvest is yours. He then reveals something beautiful. He says once your financial miracle takes root, you will begin to experience supernatural multiplication. What comes to you will not remain singular. It will expand. It will grow. It will create opportunities you never imagined. This is why preservation matters. because what you are about to receive is meant to last, expand, and influence generations beyond your own. Do not drift now. The next revelation Michael is preparing to release will reveal how your identity will transform once the miracle takes full hold in your life. And that transformation is something you have waited for longer than you realize. Type "I honor my breakthrough" in the comments if this is speaking to you. Blessing code 991 is now being released over your life. Beloved soul, steady your heart, because Archangel Michael is opening one of the most powerful revelations of this entire message. He says that once your financial miracle begins to manifest and you start walking in the flow of divine abundance, something profound will take place inside you, a transformation of identity. This transformation is not superficial. It is not temporary. It is not emotional. It is spiritual. It is the awakening of who you were always meant to be before life, struggle, fear, where circumstances dimmed your inner light. Michael calls this the emergence of your divine identity, the version of you that knows exactly who they are, exactly what they carry, and exactly what heaven has assigned to their life. He shows me a vision of you standing in front of a mirror, but the reflection is not the person you have been seeing for years. It is a stronger version of you, a bolder Urian, a clearer Grian, a version that carries confidence not based on ego, but on divine awareness. He says this transformation will begin subtly at first. You will notice your decisions becoming sharper. You will notice your emotional reactions changing. You will notice your confidence rising in areas where you once felt insecure. You will notice that you no longer negotiate your worth. You no longer shrink your vision. You no longer silence your voice. This is not a personality shift. It is a spiritual elevation. Michael reveals that your financial breakthrough is the catalyst for this identity shift because financial restrictions have buried parts of your destiny. When a person is constantly fighting for survival, they forget the magnitude of their calling. When a person is weighed down by lack, they lose sight of their spiritual authority. When a person is constantly worried about needs, they cannot fully step into purpose. Heaven is removing that weight so you can remember who you are. Your miracle is restoring access to your original identity, not the version shaped by hardship, but the version shaped by divine intention. He says your identity is tied to your assignment, and your assignment requires confidence, clarity, and spiritual alertness. This is why the enemy attacked your finances so fiercely, because your destiny is dangerous to darkness. If your identity awakens, your authority awakens. If your authority awakens, your purpose awakens. And if your purpose awakens, heaven's influence flows through you effortlessly. That is why your breakthrough is not only about money. It is about unlocking the version of you that can carry your calling without fear, without limitation, and without apology. Michael shows me that you will begin to feel different in environments that once made you small. Not because you will become arrogant, but because your spirit will no longer tolerate atmospheres that contradict your calling. You will outgrow certain conversations. You will outgrow certain habits. You will outgrow certain environments. You will begin to feel heaven pulling you upward. This is the natural effect of divine identity. When you awaken to who you truly are, your spirit gravitates toward higher places. You move differently. You think differently. You act differently. You choose differently. But Michael also reveals that this identity shift will require courage. Not courage to fight. Courage to rise. Courage to accept the magnitude of who you are becoming. Many people fear success more than failure because success demands responsibility, visibility, and spiritual maturity. But Michael says you are ready now. Heaven would not release this miracle into your life if you were not capable of carrying the elevation attached to it. Your growth has been intentional. Your endurance hath been preparation. Your past battles have sculpted resilience inside you. And now, heaven is ready to reveal the identity that was forged through every struggle you survived. He says that as your identity elevates, people around you may respond differently. Some will celebrate your transformation. Others may distance themselves. Others may feel uncomfortable as your strength exposes their stagnation. This is not your burden to carry. You are not responsible for making others comfortable with your growth. Your responsibility is to honor the identity heaven is restoring to you. You are stepping into a higher frequency, and not everyone can breathe at that altitude. Michael says this separation is not loss. It is alignment. He shows me now an image of you walking with a bright light surrounding you. This light represents your awakened identity. It will illuminate things you once ignored. It will expose what is misaligned. It will attract opportunities that match your new level. It will repel situations that no longer serve your purpose. This light is evidence that your miracle has changed not just your circumstances, but your spirit. Michael emphasizes that your identity will begin to guide your decisions. You will no longer choose based on fear. You will no longer settle for less. You will no longer chase validation. You will no longer doubt your own potential. When heaven restores identity, every decision becomes clearer because every decision flows from purpose, not pressure. You will feel heaven's wisdom rising within you in ways that surprise you. You will feel guided, supported, aligned, and anchored. He also reveals that your new identity will open doors that were previously inaccessible to you. The reason certain opportunities were not available before was not because you lacked value, but because you were not yet aligned with the version of yourself who could steward them. But once your identity fully awakens, divine doors will open with remarkable ease. Michael says this is not favoritism, it is spiritual law. When identity aligns with destiny, doors must open. Nothing can remain closed to a person who walks in their divine truth. He then whispers something powerful. Tell them they were never meant to live small. Small thinking. Small expectations. Small dreams. Small opportunities. He says heaven created you with a magnitude that you have not yet fully embraced. And this miracle, this awakening, this transformation, it is all designed to bring you into a life that reflects the greatness heaven placed inside you before you were born. Do not drift now. The next revelation Michael is preparing to release will uncover how your elevation will influence the lives of others and the role you are meant to play in heaven's larger plan. Type "I rise in my true identity" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Lesson code 550 is now being released over your life. Beloved soul, come closer in spirit, because Archangel Michael is preparing to unveil a revelation that expands far beyond your personal breakthrough. He says that once your identity rises into its true form, once your spirit awakens, and once your financial miracle begins to manifest, there will be a powerful ripple effect that extends into the lives of those connected to you. This is not only your elevation, it is the elevation of everyone heaven has assigned to your influence. Michael calls this the season of divine expansion, the stage where your transformation becomes a catalyst for transformation in others. You are not merely receiving a miracle, you are becoming a vessel of breakthrough, a carrier of light, a bearer of spiritual momentum that will shift the atmosphere around you. He shows me a vision of you standing in the center of a large circle. Light is radiating from you, spreading outward, touching every person, every environment, every opportunity aligned with your destiny. Michael says this light represents your awakened identity and the authority that comes with your miracle. He says your transformation will ignite hope in others who are watching you silently, those who have been struggling, those who have lost faith, those who have been waiting for a sign that change is possible for them too. Your journey will become evidence. Your breakthrough will become a message without words. Your elevation will become a spiritual signal that heaven is still moving in the lives of those who dare to stay alert. Michael reveals that you are stepping into a role of influence, whether you realize it or not. Influence does not always mean public visibility or a platform that reaches millions. Influence begins in your atmosphere, in your relationships, in your circle, in the hearts of those who look to you for strength without ever saying it aloud. He says you will notice that people begin coming to you for advice, guidance, clarity, and direction. Some will sense the shift in your spirit and feel drawn to your wisdom. Others will feel peace simply being in your presence, because your alignment with heaven will create an environment where confusion cannot survive. This is the power of a spiritually awakened identity. He emphasizes that this influence is not accidental, it is assigned. Heaven is elevating you not only so you can experience abundance, but so you can carry divine impact. He says your journey has trained you to understand struggle, pain, delay, and uncertainty. Because of that, your compassion will carry healing. Your words will carry authority. Your presence will carry comfort. This is why the enemy fought so hard to suppress your identity and attack your finances. He feared the influence you would gain once you stepped into your purpose fully awake. He feared that your breakthrough would become a beacon for others. He feared what heaven always knew, that you were meant to lead, guide, uplift, and shine. Michael shows me now a path extending far beyond you, lined with people who will benefit from your elevation. He says some of these people you already know, others you have yet to meet, and some you will influence indirectly without ever speaking to them. But all will be touched by the energy of your transformation. He calls this divine overflow, when heaven blesses one soul so profoundly that the blessing pours into the lives of many. That is the magnitude of what is coming to you. You are not just receiving abundance, you are becoming a source of abundance in spiritual, emotional, and financial ways. He then reveals something deeply sacred. Your elevation will break generational patterns. Financial cycles that have repeated for years, even decades, will end with you. Emotional wounds passed down through generations will begin to heal. The limits your ancestors faced will no longer bind you. Michael says your miracle is not only personal, it is generational. It is rewriting lineage. It is restoring what was stolen generations ago. It is reclaiming territory that should have belonged to your family long before you arrived. Heaven is making you the point of reversal, and everything after you will be different because of what you are stepping into now. Michael wants you to understand the weight of your assignment without fear. He says influence does not mean pressure. It means purpose. It means that you are stepping into a life that will feel more aligned than anything you have ever known. You will not struggle to lead. You will not fear responsibility. You will not doubt your ability to impact others. Heaven has prepared you. Life has shaped you. Struggle has strengthened you. And now your miracle is unlocking the fullness of your purpose. He reveals that you must protect your energy in this season. Not everyone can carry the weight of your calling. Not everyone can handle the atmosphere you are stepping into. Some will misunderstand you. Some will distance themselves. Some will feel uncomfortable as you rise. Allow this process. Allow this separation. Allow the elevation. Everyone connected to you cannot rise with you, but those meant for your future will be strengthened by your transformation. He then whispers something deeply encouraging. Tell them they will not walk alone. Heaven will surround you with the right people, people who support your elevation, people who celebrate your breakthrough, people who align with your purpose, people who carry similar fire. Michael says divine connections will begin aligning after your miracle manifests. You will meet people whose presence accelerates your journey. You will attract relationships that reflect your awakened identity. Heaven is sending kingdom-aligned people to walk with you. This next season will demand intentionality. Your influence will grow. Your voice will strengthen. Your clarity will sharpen. And your journey will begin to inspire others without effort, because your life will become a testimony of what happens when someone listens to the call of heaven and stays spiritually alert. Stay with me now, because the next revelation Michael is preparing to release is the culmination of everything. The moment when heaven seals your transformation and declares that your miracle has fully arrived. This file unfolding will be the most powerful yet. Type "I accept my divine assignment" in the comments if this is resonating deeply. Lesson code 844 is now being released over your life. Beloved soul, prepare your heart, for Archangel Michael is now revealing the final and most powerful unveiling of this entire message. He says the miracle that has been approaching you, the miracle that has been hovering around your atmosphere, the miracle that has been stirring in the unseen, is now stepping fully into manifestation. Not partially. Not in fragments. Not in hints. Fully. Completely. Tangibly. He calls this moment the sealing of your divine turnaround, the hour when what was promised becomes what is present. Michael says heaven has waited for this alignment, because the version of you that is standing here now, awakened, alert, elevated, steady, and spiritually aware, is the version capable of carrying the magnitude of this blessing without fear and without delay. He shows me a vision of a scroll being unrolled in the heavens. On this scroll is your name, written in light. As the scroll opens, I see the word fulfillment shining with incredible intensity. Michael says this word represents the completion of cycles that once felt endless. It represents the breaking of patterns that once kept you bound. It represents the restoration of opportunities that were once lost. It represents the release of the miracle that will change your entire financial story overnight. He says this is not symbolic language, this is spiritual truth. You are stepping into the moment when everything your spirit have been sensing becomes undeniable in your reality. Michael reveals that in the coming days, you will feel something unusual, a divine pressure, but not the kind that overwhelms you. It will feel like a spiritual stretching, a sense that you are expanding from the inside out. This expansion is heaven making room for what is arriving. He says your life has operated in limitation for so long that abundance will feel like expansion in your spirit before it becomes expansion in your circumstances. Do not misinterpret this feeling. It is not anxiety. It is not uncertainty. It is not fear. It is spiritual preparation for manifestation. He shows me now an image of chains falling away from your feet, one by one. These chains represent delays, financial restrictions, generational patterns, emotional battles, external obstacles, internal doubts, and spiritual interference. Every chain falls in perfect sequence, ending with one final break that releases a surge of divine momentum. Michael says this is happening already in the unseen. Your life is being unbound. Your path is being cleared. Your destiny is being released. And when this final chain breaks, the miracle moves instantly. Michael emphasizes that this is the moment heaven has been preparing you for throughout this entire message. Every revelation, every awakening, every shift, every instruction has been guiding you toward this hour. He says the miracle is not simply coming. It is attaching itself to your name. It is aligning itself with your purpose. It is anchoring itself into your future. What is meant for you will not pass you by. What heaven has written cannot be erased. What God has sealed cannot be blocked. He reveals that the manifestation of your financial miracle will come with a sign, an unmistakable moment when your spirit will feel a powerful surge of certainty. It will feel like recognition. It will feel like remembrance. As though your soul suddenly understands, this is the moment. This is what Michael warned me about. This is the turning point. This recognition will be instant. Your spirit will rise before your mind catches up. And once that moment happens, everything will move quickly. Approvals, inertions, opportunities, movement, release, alignment. Heaven will accelerate you with precision. Michael brings attention to something deeply sacred. You must not shrink yourself when this miracle arrives. Do not question whether you deserve it. Do not second-guess the blessing. Do not allow fear to intercept what heaven has placed into your hands. You have been prepared. You have been refined. You have been strengthened. You have been awakened. And the miracle coming to you is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment. Heaven does not make mistakes. Heaven does not misalign blessings. Heaven knows exactly what it is doing. He says your life will never look the same after this moment. Not because everything will suddenly become perfect, but because your perspective will shift permanently. You will no longer see yourself as someone hoping for breakthrough. You will see yourself as someone walking in divine flow. You will no longer see yourself as someone fighting for scraps. You will see yourself as someone positioned for overflow. You will no longer see your future through the lens of survival. You will see it through the lens of purpose. Michael then speaks with incredible authority. Tell them the miracle has been dispatched. Tell them heaven has released it. Tell them their alert spirit has opened the door. His presence is strong, and the finality in his tone tells me that this moment is sealed. The miracle is not pending. It is active. It is not forming. It is arriving. It is not distant. It is near. But listen closely. Heaven wants your heart grounded as it all unfolds. Remain alert. Remain open. Remain aligned. The miracle does not require perfect performance. It requires spiritual awareness. And you have been awakened for this exact moment. Before we close, if this message has touched your spirit, make sure you like, share, comment, lift this message, and subscribe so you do not miss what heaven pours out next. Type "I receive my miracle" in the comments to anchor your spirit. Blessing code 999 is being sealed over your life. And now, beloved soul, let me offer the final support message that flows from everything heaven has spoken. You have just heard that your miracle is arriving, that heaven is moving, and that your spirit is awakening into divine identity. As this transformation unfolds, our mission is to guide countless others through their own awakenings, to reach souls who are still asleep to their breakthrough. When you support this work, you are not helping a channel, you are helping heaven awaken hearts across the world. Scripture declares that those who sow into divine light become carriers of that light, and this message is carrying light into places where darkness has lived for years. I speak this personally, with the weight of heaven behind it. If your spirit feels led, support this work through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the description. Your seed becomes a prophetic act, aligning your life with the movement of God in this very moment. And I bless every giver with supernatural acceleration, that the same miracle approaching your life multiplies back into everything you touch. Step boldly. Step faithfully. Step now.